Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
What if the reason you're still feeling tired, foggy, inflamed, you can't sleep, you've got pain, all the things? It's not because you need more supplements. It's because your body can't use the ones you're already taking. Let that sink in. You're taking the greens, the proteins, the peptides, the detox products, the minerals, the energy supplements, and yet you're still exhausted, bloated, inflamed, gaining that weight out of nowhere and not recovering. It's not a motivation system or problem. It's a system problem. Your body is not working for you. You cannot build energy with a congested liver. You cannot detox with depleted minerals. You cannot repair muscle without amino acids. You can't think clearly with low cellular energy. You can't heal if oxidative stress is overwhelming your cells, and you can't stack those supplements randomly and expect results. So this is what we're talking about. No more supplements, the right supplements in the right order. And that's how you unlock your energy, improve your metabolism, get rid of that weight gain, support the detox, get rid of the pain, and feel your best. I'm so excited. One of my favorite human beings is back. Dr. Howard Cohn. He's the founder of Cohn Health Institute, treated over 50,000 patients, trained more than 50 doctors, taught 1,500 or more health classes, and he is dedicated to real world clinical experience. Welcome, Dr. Cohn. How are you today?
I'm great, Sarah. Thanks for having me. So great to see you. I love the intro on your podcast here.
Well, I mean, that's what people are after, and they're feeling stuck without answers. They go to Amazon, they go to Whole Foods Market, they just get something off the shelf, and it might make them feel worse, and they don't know why. Their money's going down the toilet. So I am super excited to talk about my favorite product of yours, the H2 Blast and molecular hydrogen. And we always talk about just go back to the periodic table, right? Let's go back to the basics. You see iodine there, you see hydrogen there. And I want to talk about how it fits into that foundation first strategy of what people are dealing with.
Well, it all goes back to, for me, and I know a lot of times for you with the products that you put together, which is looking at the body itself and looking at the terrain. A lot of people have a lot of different supplements that they create in an allopathic way, with an allopathic mind, meaning looking to fix a part that's not working rather than find out why it's not working. So people will say, hey, I'm a root cause practitioner. You hear that banter a lot in the different Instagrams, TikToks, Facebook groups, things like that. But we find that most people that say that are really somewhere along the stem. They're not really root cause, because if I have this parasite, or if I have this bacteria growing in me, I have this fungus yeast situation, a lot of times people go, I found the root cause. You have this mold. We're going to give you this supplement, or we're going to give you this protocol, without taking it to the next step and finding out, well, why do I have that? And you can say, well, I'm exposed to it. And you go, well, a lot of people got exposed to it. A lot of people got exposed to the same thing. A lot of people ate the same meal that was bacteria laden or mold laden or parasitic laden and didn't respond the same way. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to strengthening the host. And when we look nutritionally, it really comes down to the terrain. And you mentioned the periodic table. Serendipitously, my last name, Cohn, has the 4 elements of all living things, which is why it's like that with our logo, with Cohn Nutrition, which is carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen. And so for me to start with oxygen, because you can live a month without food, a week without water, but you cannot live 6 minutes without oxygen. And, we get that from raw green foods. We get that from the ocean. Without it, we perish. And so things that we can do therapeutically in our office, our clinic, like you've been here to oxygenate the system with a host of different therapies to do that, nutritionally look to do that. while doing it, we realized that there's this whole alkaline concept with the body, that an acidic body doesn't heal as well as a body that's more able to maintain its alkaline status of the blood, which is 7.365. So people go, the alkaline thing's not a real thing. It's a real thing because your body makes it a real thing. And so what we look at, like you look at, is what is the cost to the body? What is it? How is it depleted, and how do I give it what it needs that it's being depleted with? I know you mentioned a lot of people are really excited about GLPs, and it's really great because like people that were morbidly obese, people that are having all kinds of different dysregulated problems are now bringing it back in sync, but they're also creating a whole host of other problems that need not be created. So if people properly stack those things, they would have better wins. People microdose those things rather than believe the whole more is better thing, they would have better wins too. That's why, like, one of my favorite products of yours, say take every day, twice a day, actually, your accelerated aminos. We've really turned around a lot of situations with a lot of our patients at the Cohn Health Institute, being able to stack that in with some of the other things that we're doing. So as we say, it takes a village.
It does. You know, I had a client reach out to me yesterday. She's on retatrutide, the GLP-3, and she was at one dose. She's like, I still have a little food noise, so she increased it, and she goes, oh my gosh, I can't eat, because she was so nauseous. So next week she'll go down, but in the meantime, she can take the accelerated aminos, as she's literally not physically able to get in that protein. And people don't realize, as they're losing weight, half of it is muscle. Typically, if they're not doing it the right way, not supporting their body, and then they haven't fixed the root problem, they have not fixed the metabolism, they have not cleansed their liver, they've not done all of the other things, then they're just smaller versions of themselves. And then they become skinny fat and then gain all the weight back, and it's all fat, and they look older, creepier skin, hair's gone because the hair's missing the nutrients, all of these things. And they're like, wait, what did I just do here? And their metabolism is slowed down even more. So there's a way to do it right there, but you have to support the root cause.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and, you mentioned it before, and we were talking before this too. You mentioned the importance of a healthy functioning liver. You can't fill a full glass. So a lot of things have to do with your body's ability to detox, drain, eliminate, break up biofilm. A lot of people have a lot of what I would call enzyme disruption going on. So they can't break down the proteins, even if they are eating the proteins, even if they're eating healthy proteins. So to be able to have something already broken down, like your amino acid complex that you have with your product, accelerated aminos, is just great. And again, your cellular health, we use your cellular detox product. We use I think I have that one here too. I've got all my fun stuff right here too, a lot, along with our accelerated liver care. Accelerated liver care really gets the sludge moving for those patients that are really leaning on the GLPs when they're stagnant, if you will.
Yeah. Because the fat burning happens in the liver, the protein assimilation happens in the liver. And I want to go back to the acidity that you had talked about, because personally, I had not really addressed my acidity. People don't realize that just being stressed can make your body acidic. And what happens with me is the lymph backs up. Well, the lymph isn't going to work if your body's too acidic. And what do you get when your lymph is backed up? You get puffy and bloated, and you get brain fog and all of these things. And it's just one issue that is going wrong in the body, and no one's addressing that acidity versus the alkaline environment. Now, you need stomach acid to be very strong in your gut. So your body needs to have different levels of pH throughout the body. Do you want to touch on that?
Sure. A lot of people, they'll throw the baby out in the bathwater, because you're just looking for one thing to latch on to. They'll go, oh, people talk about drinking alkaline water. Your body regulates its own alkalinity. The whole thing's a bunch of crap. Well, again, the body regulates its own alkalinity. How does it do that? So if I'm drinking coffee or I'm drinking soda or I'm eating a steak or I'm having a dessert, those are highly acidic foods. And so my body needs to buffer that acid. So how's it going to do it? It's going to rob things like calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium from different parts of my body in order to keep my blood at the perfect 7.365. If it goes a little too high, a little too low, you're going to die. So you can't do that. It is probably what it would, it's I call it the fifth vital sign, so to speak. I mean, it is so important measuring pH on people when we come into the office. Like you can tell who's going to have cavities, who's not, based on the alkalinity of their mouth. There's so many different things that it comes down to. So what we do, besides this, I mean, we make a product called Reset to help reset the body by help supplying carbonate, bicarbonate, calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium with healthy salts to actually aid the adrenal glands. Why? Because stress, like you said, is your greatest acidifier. You can have the most perfect alkaline diet, and you can end up just being so stressed out of your mind because you hate your job, hate your life, hate your spouse, hate your whatever, and you're just not at peace. Well, your body's going to become very acidic. So what does it do? It's got to store that acid somewhere. It's usually going to store it as fat. You're going to store it in your fat so you can actually get fatter. So people are wondering. So when you're not making these breakthroughs, a lot of times you got to go, what am I stressing about? And what are some of the things that are clinic? We do things like NET, QNRT, all these different therapies to help people through it. We have all these sympathetic, parasympathetic, moving you out of that overload like modalities to really set the body up so that it reboots, or like we like to say, resets itself. So, and at the end of the day, the number one reason that a person comes to a doctor, doesn't matter what kind of doctor, is pain that won't go away. Yeah. Not just pain that won't go away, because people live with pain and they go, well, maybe it'll go away. It doesn't go away. It just doesn't. Your body compensates. Do you know what I mean? So that we have a sign on the wall that says the 5 most dangerous words are, maybe it'll go away. It's kind of like if you're in the ocean, we're here in Southern California, you swim in the ocean, you see a shark fin, and then you freak out, you look up again and you don't see the fin. Now, do you feel good? You're gonna just hang out and keep swimming because it went away? No, it just went to sonar its friends for the feeding frenzy called your ankles. So, just because something goes away doesn't mean life got better. It just means you got more ignorant to what's going on. And then not if, it's when you're going to get eaten. In this case, by a shark, but in our case, it's by slow growing chronic oxidative stress, degeneration of the human body that could be not just slowed down these days, but reversed if you're feeding the body the things that it needs and setting it up to win. I mean, my first go in this industry for in the 90s was educating people on all the toxins in the environment and why they should be filtering their air and filtering their water and changing their cleaning products that could kill their kids, and their personal care products, the makeup they're using, and all these different things to make them non-toxic. In the 90s, everyone's looking at me like I'm an idiot. I'm like, what are you talking about? People are going to buy bottled water. That's absurd. And I'm like, no, it's going to happen. So, and then as we go and go and go, and you enter electromagnetic pollution, 5G, Wi-Fi, all these different types of things that we're being exposed to every day, electro pollution, dirty electricity, smart meters, and then we have things dropped on us from the sky. Yes, those aren't clouds, and so you start to add this up, and we can't keep up. So that's where the shift became. If I'm really going to help people, I need to go back to basics and have them strengthen their terrain, because it's resilience that's going to be the thing that keeps people alive, healthy, and thriving.
A couple notes to emphasize on what you just said. When you're stressed, the adrenals use more salt and iodine, which no one has enough of it anyways, right? They're already acidic. They're already iodine depleted. And that steals those minerals from the thyroid, sluggish metabolism, weight gain. So it just compounds the issue. And you were talking about these toxins in the 90s, way before we even had the load that we have today. And there was a couple weeks ago, where the sky had stripes in it, and you knew those weren't real clouds. I went and got a scan, and literally the toxins that come from that could not have come from anywhere else in my environment showed right up on my scan. as the top hits. And then the other interesting thing is I'm gluten-free. I don't even have gluten in the house. My family members don't eat it in the house unless they go and get takeout and bring it home. And the top three, the third toxin on my scan was gluten. And I have still yet to find what the source is. Is it my makeup? Is it my nail polish? Is it something that I'm putting on my body, which I don't think it is? But we are being exposed to things that we don't even know we're being exposed to. So it is so important to emphasize the need to become resilient. I want to get into mitochondrial health because that is the basis of our energy. That's the basis of your ability to absorb nutrients, to get rid of the toxins. It is our life. Your mitochondria die, you die. Where does hydrogen come in with mitochondrial health?
Well, it should be the first thing people think about when they think of mitochondrial health, because most supplements, most antioxidants, most nutritional things, the molecule is too big to get inside the cell and then get inside your mitochondria. So there's a reason hydrogen is number one on the periodic table. It's number one because it's the smallest molecule in the universe. It's the most abundant molecule in the universe. So it is like what we call a heat-seeking missile. It's been termed in medical science as a smart molecule, meaning like, there's good stress in the body, there's bad stress in the body. There's it's like a fire. Like fire could be good or fire could be bad. Like fire is good if it's powering your stove so you can cook your food, or it's creating light so you're not in the dark. Fire could be bad if your house is burning down or your kitchen's on fire. These are bad things days with fire. So smart molecule knows how to put out the forest fire, know how to put out the stove, the fire in the house, but leave your pilot light on so you can still live your life. And a lot of times people, jump on people taking too much antioxidants because they disrupt that signaling molecule. And so with hydrogen, it's the only thing that does it at this level. It'll go right through your blood-brain barrier, which is why the autistic community, the people that have had heavy metal poisoning, that community, people that have had head injuries where it's been corrupted, that barrier, and it will cross your gut barrier. So all the chronic inflammatory situations there. I mean, there are thousands of studies on it. There's over 170 disease models that have been studied on hydrogen. What we did is we just made it more fun to take. And so, so funny because I can't turn on my Instagram because people say hydrogen around me all the time. And anytime I turn it on, I got somebody barking about a dissolvable tablet or something. I'm like, if anyone's followed me for the last 20 years, that's what I was using in 2011 or 2010. So it's 15 years ago. So it would be like being excited about your 8-track tape. We've evolved it so many times since then. I always wanted to make it ingestible. We were able to make it ingestible. You can swallow it. Then we evolved it to make it chewable. And then we did test marketing, and then everybody loved the pixie stick. And we put it in a base of xylitol so that all the dentists love it. We have dentists, biological, holistic dentists around the world that absolutely this is their thing. That they put everybody on it because it's a super anti-inflammatory. So they don't have to lean on NSAIDs so much. You don't have to lean on all these different things that people are doing. So and the athletes use it. I mean, we have free divers that can dive deeper when they're on it. We have climbers that can climb higher before they have issues when they're on it. Anybody knows that. Now we have it efficient. You don't need water. You don't need to put it on. You could if you want, but you don't need to. You tear it off. You put it in your mouth like a pixie stick. If you're not my age, you don't know what a pixie stick is. People say it's more like Fun Dip. And if that's still past your generation, it tastes like Nerds if you're under 21. So there you go. There's no sugar.
No, it tastes super good. My kids want to have them all day long. I'm like, wait a second. Let's not waste mom's money at the moment. Okay, so oxidative stress.
Yeah.
Let's talk about oxidative stress. What is it? What does it do to the body? And how do you combat it?
Well, it ages you. I mean, it ages your cells, it ages your skin, it ages your hair, it ages your eyes, just ages you. And so what we want, again, so one of the most oxidizing things is your emotional stress on the body. Again, say it enough. I mean, at the clinic here, we look at people neurologically, like physically, biochemically, nutritionally, whether deficient or toxic, but we're also looking at is what is their chronic low-level stress. It is the number one killer, chronic low-level stress. It's not one big, oh my God, this nightmare thing happened, because then we have a shock response. We either get over it, get through it, grieve, whatever we do. It's the chronic everyday beating down of the soul that really is oxidizing people faster than anything. And so we did a really cool experiment back in the day when I first started using the raw ingredient that I have here in H2 Blast, where we took to show like an example. Now it's anecdotal for all the lawyers. Okay. So, but we took two jars that had lids on them, right? And we filled them with water, spring water. And then we put iron nails in it, like nails, hammer nails. We put like 10 nails in each one. In one, we just let it sit. The other one, we put this very hydrogen powder that we have here in that water. 4 months later, the one that had this in it looked exactly like we put the nails in that day. Wow. The other one looked like a 1967 rotted Toyota, just like it's just the whole water was orange. It looked like a bad foot bath. It's somebody who have joint issues that they did at a holistic clinic. And you see the difference of what's possible. To me, I'm like, that could be my heart, that could be my kidneys, that could be my liver, So again, more and more people are studying this, and you can you could ask Chad or Grok or Claude or anything about hydrogen, and you can spend the next 4 months just reading studies about what it's doing. What we did is just make it super fun and make it super efficient. Our goal at Cohn Nutrition is that if kids won't do it, adults aren't going to like doing it either. And it's the kids that are going to shape the future. So if we don't start bringing them up on the fact that my grandmother had a milkman. They didn't have to refrigerate things. Everything, if it didn't go bad, it wasn't good for you. They knew this. They didn't have these preservatives. They didn't have glyphosate in their wheat. They didn't have any of these things. We have it. Supplementation is not a luxury. It's not a choice. It is a must-do. And by definition, it's designed. What's a supplement? It's designed to fill the gap between what you're getting in your diet and what you're supposed to get. Listen, you're born, you got a gap. The question is, how big do you allow the gap to get as you get older? Are you going to fill it with Lucky Charms? In the morning, you're going to fill it with peanut butter jelly sandwich and grilled cheeses at lunch, on gluten bread, with processed cheese. And are you going to fill it at night with all kinds of different sauces that have soy or burgers or fried seed oils and things? That's, the majority of not just the United States, but the world right now. And you got to have a strategy to turn that around. But people also don't want to take 32 supplements, but they think they need to, because you can't watch social media for longer than a day without really being convinced you need 9 things or you're going to die. So don't hate the player, hate the game, right, Sarah? The marketing's amazing, but we got to just use common sense.
Okay, so I want to get into that. It's the supplement market is huge. 95% of the supplements out there are junk. You don't even know if you're getting what you think you're getting when you buy on places like Amazon. That's a whole nother issue that I talk a lot about. Or there's supplements that could have fillers or ingredients that actually block absorption, back up the liver, and make you feel worse, and you don't understand why. So I want to get into a little bit of that and what your top supplements are for the most strategic supplement stacking for pain, for sleep, for energy, for weight loss, which really all come down to the same thing, because all of those things are impacted when you have not addressed the root problem.
Yeah, I mean, you do a great job with your accelerated products to create different things that layer really perfectly, so, and that really are what I call comprehensive. I am a fan of more comprehensive products than single, because there's so many things that affect people, and I see it helps the greater good more with more things. So for example, there's another one of my favorites of yours, which is accelerated cognoblast. Okay. So, I mean, whether it's a student or I have 2 young kids that are teenagers that are in college that really need to focus. Hopefully, get something out of the money we're paying for those colleges, and do well. Let's say that love this, and it really helps them think clear. It helps the occasional ADD, ADHD that seems to creep in based on things they throw in their diet. They know their dad and mom would not be thrilled with. All those different things. So that's a classic example of something, because we can spend the whole time talking about brain health and cognitive health. And I mean, there's not a person listening to this right now that doesn't have a family member that's affected the whole family, but with Alzheimer's, dementia, or some cognitive decline, where everybody's world is rocked because the people they love that were so strong and so powerful become a shadow of themselves because of the decay of the mind. And we don't preserve that, that's huge, which is why we do all these different things that we're talking about. So it's 4 things like we talked about. The top 4 things that people will come to this office check off is that number 1 is really, it's a tie between I have pain that won't go away and fatigue, right? There's also, I'm not sleeping well. And then there's like my metabolism doesn't work like they used to. Now, you've done a lot of great podcasts. Everybody should check your library out. You've addressed all these different things and how you stack accelerated products to do that. We stack accelerated products. We have 3,000 products in our clinic, from around the world. So, because this is what I do as a hobby, is just see what people have that are doing. And there are people that come here with the most bizarre situations where they need that single nutrient because of a genetics that they have or something like that. For the most part, for us, really, this came because pain that won't go away. When I first did this, all I was trying to do 15 years ago was figure out how to get the acid out of coffee. It was the number one thing people drink in the world. Depending on what part of the world, you're either drinking acidic coffee or you're drinking acidic black tea if you're in Asia. That's what they're doing. I'm like, man, if I could actually make it more alkaline or make that acid not. Everyone started their day with an acid hit. That is not good. So, but most people, right? You can pull that coffee out of their cold, dead hands. They're not letting it go. So, if you're going to do the crime, do the time. So we're going to say, if you're going to do that, we made these things. I call them coffee drops. We put them right in. They're really hydrogen and tablets, like people are so excited about today. So, and then it's crazy. And then what happened? I had all these people that had like RSD, compartment syndrome, CRPS, just advanced fibromyalgia, saying my pain level's dropping, my discomfort level, if you will, is dropping. I can actually lift my kids up or my grandkids without, hurting myself. We're talking some people that were just the worst. I mean, 12 out of 10 pain, look at the pictures of their kids so they won't put a bullet in their head, that kind of pain level. And I go, there's a lot more going on here. I did deep dive in what I really had in my hands, and it was more an alkaline coffee. And so we created a product that would help them recover from these things, took it around the world, 20 different countries, had offices in like 7 countries at one time. And it was exciting, educating the world on this. And then it just evolved to the point where I got to get it to have it be more fun for kids, so they can do it. And then we evolved that to what we have today. So really, pain was the number one thing, because, if somebody's hurting, a lot of times it's both related to inflammation. If you can modulate that inflammation, you pull them right out. One thing about hydrogen in this level, you put it right in your mouth. You don't have to wait for water to dissipate. Most of it's in the atmosphere, regardless of what you see at Instagram. With the dissolvable tablets, you're your best incubator. If you put it in your mouth, you're your best container. It's not going anywhere except in you. So your only competition for this is ignorance. That is it. And so if you can do something like that, it's an impact product. Most people feel it right away. Not everybody feels everything 100%, but most people feel it right away. And then once they feel right away, when you have an impact product, you create a listening. Now people go, what else you got? You know what I mean? And so the next thing was sleep, right? Number one form of torture in the world, sleep deprivation. It's how you get the enemy to talk. You tear the fingernails off, they won't talk. You can waterboard them, they won't talk. You get them not to sleep for 48, 72 hours, they're talking. And so we have that at a micro dose. It's disruption of sleep. Everyone's wearing a ring and they don't know why they're not sleeping. You take alkaline minerals before you go to bed. You're going to calm your system. You have a better chance of sleeping, as well as setting your body up to be reset in the morning, which is why we call our product Reset, right? And then the other thing was what? Energy. Where does it come from? You got to oxygenate your system. So a lot of raw energy comes from that fuel, oxygen that came from raw green foods, superfoods, wheatgrass, barley grass, oatgrass. And so most people, when they do it, they're drinking these AG1s, all this other crap. These things are not 100% organic. A lot of them are processed. A lot of them are not raw. It has to be raw. If you're cooking it, our things, our daily greens, they're like, we never heat it above 105 degrees. They're 100% raw. They're 100% organic. It's just so simple. I can take it in the morning. Grandma said, eat your greens, right? And so you can keep your body oxygenated, keep your body energized. And then the next product that's coming out is the C and Cohn. We're going to keep that under wraps, but that's going to help the fourth thing, which is the weight management. But in the meantime, there's a lot of different things we do. And again, all these things in our clinic, we stack with our accelerated products. I mean, I do it in my daily life. You mentioned the accelerated iodine. I did that this morning. I also what else did I do this morning? I did my aminos this morning. And I cycle my liver care. I got to let my liver do some work. I don't want to do it all. Yeah.
I always say when you start the liver care, you're going to see things in the toilet that you haven't seen in a while because it's really getting the sludge out. But I love this because it's so confusing out there in that supplement market. People know they have to take supplements now. Our food is depleted. Our system has been hijacked. We're taking in too much of the wrong thing and not getting enough of the good thing, even if we're trying to be cognizant of what we're putting in our mouth. And then you throw in the stressors that we're all dealing with. So final takeaway, Dr. Cohn, how would you guide people in where to start?
You got to keep it simple. You also need to, I'm a big fan of having, there's a famous old saying, if you're your own doctor, you have a fool for a doctor. So a lot of times, Michael Jordan has a coach. Everyone's had a coach that was been great. It's helpful to lean on somebody, other information. You get information from medical testing, labs, stool analysis, saliva tests, genetic tests. They're all very helpful. And then there's all these different kind of functional tests that we do along with a medical test, like at the Cohn Health Institute. It's good to have a blueprint of what's going on with your body. It really is to do that. And the basics, right? If everything went away, oxygen, what are the elements? Oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, these are the elements. And what are they? The things that we're talking about. Raw green foods, they're hydrogen too. So we have a philosophy at Cohn Nutrition, which is nourish, protect, reset. We feed our body in the morning, right? So I'll nourish it with my greens and I will stack my aminos in the morning and I'll give my thyroid a little push that either with the thyroid care or the iodine. And then I protect during the day, right? So I'm protecting with hydrogen during the day. So that's when I'll take my H2 blast, right? And then I may add something else. Maybe that's when I throw in one of my other, my Cogniblast, and then reset. And then we do our reset at night before we go to bed to reset our body, alkaline minerals. For me, I also take extra of my aminos at night, and sometimes I'll take some other things. Really, depending on what's going on with my diet, my body, my travels, all that kind of stuff. So, nothing beats keeping it simple. And the most important thing is to do something, right? I like to get a win. Why do we lead with the hydrogen? Because 9 out of 10 times it's going to be a win for somebody. Most people take stuff, they go, I know it's good for me. It's supposed to be good for me. My doctor says I should take it. I don't know if I feel any better. Yeah. I don't know about you, but if I didn't feel like it was doing anything for me, I'm not going to do it. I'm a consumer. You're a consumer. It either works or it doesn't. And really, that's what it comes down to.
No, you take just a little test on some supplements. If you weigh yourself the next day and you're up 2 pounds out of nowhere, your body's inflamed. It's reacting to something that you took. It may not be the calories. It may be a food that looked healthy, but your body didn't like it. that, listen to your body's cues. Where's your energy the next day? All of those things. I wanted to tell you one thing that you probably don't even know. When you're taking the accelerated aminos at night before bed, it actually can help with growth hormone. So you don't even have to reach for those growth hormone peptides. It's actually boosting your growth hormone at night. So just a strategic thing about the aminos. Well, I could talk to you forever. You are one of my favorite human beings, and tell people where the H2 Blast is at Accelerated Health Products.
Yay.
I don't try to perfect something that's already perfect. So that will not be within the line of AHP products. But where can people find you, work with you, and follow you?
Well, we got three main areas. Number one is the Cohn Health Institute, COHN, healthinstitute.com. Our clinic is in Costa Mesa, California, not too far away from where you're at. We've been here 35 years in this Costa Mesa, Newport Beach community. We have some of the most amazing practitioners under this roof, as well as 21 different modalities and all these different, 15 different practitioners that do all kinds of different things that all work together with one goal in mind: to help people get healthy faster. The average person comes here, has been to 14 doctors, and there's been a waiting list for the last 30 out of 35 years. So that's where we're at the most. That's where I'm at right now. So for more of the nutrition we talked about, like if you want to get the H2 Blast, definitely go to Accelerated Health Products. If you were interested in the other things, cohnutrition.com, or you want more information, cohnnutrition.com. And then we also have, we're very excited that you're part of our biostacking community and have been when we were doing our biostacking summit, now the biostacking experience. Please check out biostacking.com. You see all kinds of different ways that doctors, practitioners stack different products, therapies. Sara Banta, Accelerated Health Products are on there. And we have a lot of what I would call friends of Sara. You know what I mean? I notice our good friend Rick Amy with her little True Laser. I saw you and him doing some really super cool stuff that we're featuring on the biostacking experience. It's really a wellness hub where people can go and be a part of and get real information, not just what you're seeing in other places that are attached to a sale pitch and a QR code or whatever, but really a place where you can actually get any information of the things that you want from these practitioners, from the people that created the products, the things you'll never hear them say on social media because they can't say it. But they can say it on the biostacking platform because it's my platform. And so we don't need to add anything. So it's there. It's a safe place. Definitely check it out. Become part of it. We've already pre-launched a lot of things, but it's our official launch is May 4th. I don't know when people are watching this, but by the time you might see it, it's probably up and running. So biostacking.com, and you can see a lot of cool Sara Banta stuff on there you might not see anywhere else.
I love it because I'm a huge technology fan and modality fan. So you have to prep your body with the supplements, with the right diet, with the right, exercise program, but then the devices and then the modalities that you offer at your clinic. I mean, it's all in one, and you can't just do one thing. So thank you so much. I'm so excited for the biostacking experience and that platform because, like you said, there's things that I can't say here on this podcast, and I will be saying on that platform. So thanks again for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
I just love Dr. Cohn. He's amazing, wealth of knowledge, and super fun. But before you try another trend, I want you to ask yourself, is your liver supported? Am I getting enough iodine? Are my detox pathways open? Am I acidic? Am I fueling my body with the right protein or amino acids? Are my mitochondria producing energy? Am I slumped at 3 o'clock? Am I sleeping? Is the weight coming out of nowhere? This is where real change starts. If this episode helped you connect the dots, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below. What was your biggest takeaway from today's episode? What are you struggling with the most right now? Is it the energy, the weight, the sleep, the hormones, the brain fog, digestion, inflammation? I've suffered from all of them. What topic do you want me to cover next? Your comments help me know what you need, and they also help this message reach more people who are looking for real answers. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please take a moment, leave a review, share this episode with someone that is suffering. That support helps this podcast grow and allow me to keep bringing you the best conversations, the natural solutions, and the strategies that actually work. And remember, your body isn't broken. It needs the right foundation, the right support, and the right order. You can find all that we talked about, all of my supplements, my articles, my free group coaching on Telegram. I'm not censored there, at sarabantahealth.com or acceleratedhealthproducts.com. And if you want help figuring out what your body needs first, you can do that in my free group coaching or get your own personalized protocol, whatever is best for you. And you can use the coupon code podcast10 on your first order. Make sure you subscribe, leave a review, comment below, send this episode to someone who needs it to stop guessing and start actually rebuilding your foundation. I'm Sara Banta, and this is how you accelerate your health.